Hello, hello. This is Dr. Brenda Jean Power, a metaphysician. Oops, my necklace thing fell off. And it's about Medicine Woman Solution. The solution is SOULTION. Your soul always has a solution. Now, you're listening. You're learning to listen. Oh, this is Dr. Brenda Jean. Yeah, I didn't know that was up. But it is about looking at your life and being in charge and what you can do about it. It is about understanding that you're more than just your actions, your beliefs, your behaviors. It's more than, uh, having to always have this set routine, always going to this emotional crap show. It's all of these different things. How do you get a handle on it? How do you get a handle on it? You go to these things not just to entertain yourself, but you go to people, to find solutions to why is this happening to me? To I want this to stop, or I'm in worry, fear, and that's my natural state because I have a label, I've got this. But did you know that you can be in charge of how your energy runs in your body, which affects your brain? And you can be totally in charge of being in a healthy state. I thought, oh, the only way I have a headache, the only way I'm ever going to get rid of it is if I take a pill. Well, that's not my belief system anymore. There are certain levels of pain, certain scales. So think beyond your limitations and realize. So my husband had a headache one time, and I'm like, well, come here. And so, I've had all kinds of reconnection, Reiki, you name it, every energy healing tool, because I was studying about what is energy. And then it came down to learning about Chinese medicine and all these other things. And one day it was like, spirit, I was praying about how do I help? And so then there was a point on the body. There's a point for every meridian that is a very special point. And so I turned it on its head and I started using it in my way. Hello, thank you so much for joining. And as I began to do that, his headache that was like a 5 out of 10 had just disappeared within a matter of a few minutes just by rubbing these points. And so then the body, the brain, and everything. And so when you're in pain, your thoughts can get yucky. Physically pain, mental pain, like mentally, because it is one of the body's systems of energy systems that we can learn to use to operate with. And that is, how many times is your 41 thoughts been on, I shouldn't have done that, some form of regret, or, oh, I didn't like what they said to me, that hurt my feelings, or that's not true and I need to set that straight. So your thoughts, and when your thoughts are basically controlled by your emotions or by how the emotions are felt or how you knee jerk response or but it's that feeling. So I've had a particular feeling that I regretted giving this gift to somebody because they turned out to be so mean. And I really cared about them. And I went out, and it's my choice to give them something that was relatively expensive. And I catch myself, well, I don't now, but I'm just giving you an example of how they just started to take advantage of it, screw you over, gaslight you. That didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. You just can't be around that person. So you think about these things. And one of the things that I thought of was, I wish I would have gave it to him. And I've caught myself regularly thinking about that. And I'm like, so why is this background noise that's happened so long ago popping in my head? And there's actually a story that goes with it. Now, it's not the story that you would normally hear, but it is the energy story. And the energy story has everything to do with meridians. So if I go, why are these 41 thoughts popping up in my head about this particular story? And they said, well, this is what's on your nerves. I said, okay. And then I'll say why, and then they're showing me. So they're showing me that it's in my liver, and the liver is it has emotions, and everybody thinks, oh, it's just anger. No, you got a whole heap of different types of, you can't even see this, emotions. And I created another tool that would represent, looking through Chinese medicine and other people that were great before me, pioneers before me, to make up my thing that I do. And so, with lots of years of studying about emotions and how the body works and acupuncture points, these tools can work. So now let's go a little bit further. And I'm thinking, yeah, I have regret. Can you measure it? Yeah, well, I don't really have regret. I mean, if I sat there and I went there, now, MWS, Medicine Woman Soultion, has a language, a glossary, went there. Has anybody ever been happy and you've been slighted in some form and you went there? What's your definition of went there? And so I'm curious. I'll read it. I went there, and there's a certain amount of power of emotions behind this driving factor of can't stop focusing. So you begin to hyperfocus. Now, you can call it what you want, but notice you went there. The question is did you have to go there? Well, my thoughts drove me. Who is in charge of your thought? I went there. But in the moment, what was the emotional drive? So besides that, I said, okay, so I didn't go there. Every now and then I can hear in my 41 thoughts as I'm getting ready this story, not rampant in stress mode. Stress mode is when your brain goes in high beta and you are then hijacked, going into left brain to intellectualize, to make it make sense, to get back to reality, that you know it. But if you know it is stress, then you're there. But if you learn to miss yourself and you have a happy life and don't really have that chatter of negativity 24/7 because you've done a lot of work. And so you listen in. So you're being nosy, listening in on your own thoughts. And so I began to, well, why? So then the question is, so why? Why? So spirit then again shows me it's my liver. It has regret. I said, is this regret in that time? And it goes, yes. And I regretted it. And there's something that resonates. I said, so even if I feel regret, will that go out? It said, yes, but there's something more. I said, what? It's this broadcast. So if I look and I feel what regret is without using a tool, my brain could get worse, but I'm actually knowing that the blood in my forebrain does not have to. But here's what's something that's interesting about your frontal lobe. Now, I've been studying a lot about the frontal lobe. Do you have impulse control? A lot of people go there because they follow this energy and they can't stop the impulse of filtering or wait and say, stop, I don't need to go there with my thoughts. So I said, how, then I'm going to look in my frontal lobe. Do I have impulse control? Yes. On a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being I have really good impulse control, and I'm having a 9. I said, and the impulse is their broadcast. Okay, so people broadcast energy all the time. If you don't believe me, just go into a store, go into a bar, go into school, go into where people, and walk up to strangers that are different than you, and you'll feel this broadcast and be like, leave me alone. And you can feel these particular, don't talk to me, these very particular feels. And it's a broadcast energy. And I said, so have I bumped into this broadcast energy? Yes. And I said, oh, was it because I was out and about in public? And it was like, no. Because, no, what's interesting is that when Saturn is in retrograde, and I said, it had to do with Saturn in retrograde. It says, yes, it has something to do with it. And it has to do with the outside energies from the collective? Yes. Okay, so there might be some people that are in regret, and I'm picking up on this. Yes, it's a broadcast. not necessarily from that person, but people that are like-minded thinkers. And it's about deficiency. I said, oh, I got more to work on then. I said, so it's tapping into whether I'm going to be deficient. Am I going to give my pen away? Am I going to not have impulse control, my brain? Do I need to develop it now? Yes. I said, okay. So would just a handy dandy healing tool work to help me? Yes. Towards yourself. Towards yourself. So this isn't about me looking at somebody else or, oh, I regret. And it's like, I regret taking care of myself. You're saying deficiency towards myself. So they said the vibrational rate, which is on the inside of me, my nervous system is deficient and it goes there. I said, is it because I've gone there before? Yes. And that number is a 4. And I says, was it the one I'm thinking of? They go, ask the question again. And it was conditioned from my environment when I was about 5 years old. This is what you do. This is how I watched and observed other people being in regret energetically. And Nikki says, interesting. I've just hit memories of remembering love through feeling of regret. Oh, a memory of why regret is needed. Is needed. Ooh. So regret is needed. I'm curious about that. So what would benefit you? What would being in regret benefit you? And so for me, I'm looking at this. Okay, so I'm a spiritual investigator. I'm not a therapist. I'm not here for you to dump your stuff on and to just give me all your negative stuff and expect me to fix it and then you walk off and do no work. That's not how this works. I don't mind listening, but I will stop you and give you a point and say, do you really want to do this? Because we're not intellectualizing this. We are taking care of the emotional chemical peptide. So we can learn. Now, the wisdom is locked into these emotions. Some people said, let me keep my negative emotions. I said, fine, but it's going to cause a havoc in your life because the karma is off. The energy is not in harmony. Do you want a better life? Do you want a better healthy mind, which is to think and to feel with joy and get that heart-brain coherence? But you can, like, now sometimes if you are in the middle of a lesson and you need to become a little bit more bitchy to protect yourself or to get something done, okay, fine. Do you have insecurities? We'll talk about the successes and then we will work on these successes and you'll notice that certain emotions will like connect with it. So for me, so now I'm connecting to the seventh plane. I'm channeling and interpreting what I'm hearing, but not based through my emotional body. I'm listening with a harmony. Okay, so now it's like they're going deficiency. So am I still working on deficiency? See, that's not the right question. So I'm just going to let that go. There you go back to toward yourself. So the vector, which is the direction of energies, the vector, so towards me. So is the outside towards me? They go, no, your inside is towards you. So inside, I'm saying something, thinking something negative towards myself. Yes. My voice is going, really? Okay. I have a broadcast from inside towards me. So it's not that I have a broadcast from me towards me. I have something inside that's going to broadcast towards me. I says, tell me more, please. And they said, well, they said, act mean. I said, so my broadcast towards myself is that when I feel deficient, I'm supposed to act mean to others, to myself. I should have known that. Now, as I pause and listen to these words, yeah, it has come up in my language. I should have known that. And it is all about when, not the beforehand, not during. This is the after the event. So you have the live experience, but it's after the event. So I said, is that what you want? Yes, after the event. After the event, if you haven't taken care, now this is not just to you, this is related to another human being. Okay. So this is related to another human being. So if I'm, so social skills is what's coming into play. You with me so far? No longer needed to keep myself on the right path. Ooh. It reminded me of how I could fully unconditionally love. There were times I wasn't sure if I loved, if it's a confidence building tool, to also not go back to the old self for me. I was able to release it. Interesting. And I caught myself saying, I should have known that. But I was not saying I should have known that. I said, so did I really say this to myself? No, this is what I've, to calm in my way of dealing with people when I was little was to repeat back to them what they had said. I should have known that. So now I'm going to do better, right? Oh, there goes my phone. And I'm going to do better. And it is to do better is that I have to think that they're right and I'm wrong. I should have known better. But then again, it's like, where wasn't I aware? Where wasn't I present and learning? You know, so I don't solely sit there in my mind. Here we go. I should have known better. And I said, do you want me to heal out these words? Yes, because that's what's making me deficient. So towards myself, I am having these belief system. Do I have value there? They go, no, it's a belief system. The belief system is that I had believed an adult or someone, even if they're like my age, whatever, somebody else, and they had put that I should have known better. I'm like, really? Okay. Now, I find this very fascinating because it's just words, right? But now I need to know, was there a certain amount of inflection, tone? Yes, but that's not what they want me to talk about. So I will stop thinking and just say, tell me. And they go, towards myself. It's my reaction towards myself. My reaction towards myself. So I react towards myself. I have to repeat what I learned so that I can put myself back into being a good girl. I should have known better. So let's say not before, during, but afterwards of an experience, I'm going there. I don't have the impulse to help me to not say these things to myself because I haven't learned to let go of that phrase that somebody had said to me when I was around 5. I should have known better. And so I'm thinking about this. So after the fact, so these words, this way of correcting myself, the way to protect myself. So I did I do it to protect myself? And I said, no. You're doing it so you can show that you understand. So my little, at 5 years old, the cognitive ability wasn't all that good because you're just little, is that to show them so they will stop banging on about you did it wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's not the right thing to do. So I should have known better. So I must have been contemplating this thought for a very long time. So what's interesting is that they don't have to now. They are now living in my head, not them, but the statement. I should have known better. But it's loudly broadcasting from the inside of my nerves. I should have known better. So now I'm going to hesitate to talk, to speak, to act, to be. If I'm around people, because I'm still learning the ropes, correct? About how to be a human at around 5. But around certain people, I will now hold back. I won't do that because it's wrong. And do you understand what I'm talking about? So it's after the fact. People just think the experience is experience. No, this is after the fact. It's all done. And am I licking my wounds? Yeah, you could say that could be the stage. He'd say, so I wouldn't stop asking. Yeah, my dad says you should know better all the time. And it was a catchphrase because some parents weren't all that smart. Hi. You can get a free reading in just as soon as I'm done with Spirit Speak. So hang in there if you really want one. I'll give you one. So this is the after effect. So apparently, I'm like, oh my God, this is how I raised myself. So I'm left to my own devices to cope, handle, deal, pacify, manage the situation that happened when I'm 5 years old with another person that I look up to and I think is smarter than me, and they're a god to some degree because you don't really think that, there's anything else because you don't know. You don't have that parameter. So Saturn's return is asking us to step up. And so I could keep going with this. For me, I'd probably end up doing R2S because there's a certain amount of anxiety that if I cross that line, I already know what's going to happen because I've already been there. But I'm not healing how I know that. I'm healing this deficiency that I'm supposed to know better. So it's like, well, what is it I'm supposed to know better? What did I do wrong? So I'm looking at myself that I have to put in my mind. I have to have impulse control. Don't do that. What was that? What was that they're yelling about? So did I hit somebody? I mean, I remember being a young kid. I think it was about 3, not 5 though, but I could have been. I don't remember the actual age. The boy next door, Michael, had grabbed my purple crayon and he deliberately broke it to make me cry. Well, I come from a family of 5 and we roughhouse. So I punched him in the gut, beat him up, got my pieces back, went home, taped it together. I got my purple crayon. And I'm like, okay, so when you think, my pendulum's going, if you think about this for a moment or two, if you think about this, it is the why did I get angry? It is the peak of that rage that I couldn't cope, handle, and deal that needs to be healed. I said, so is this what it's about? They go, yes, bingo. Okay, so I can look at this and go, okay, so it was a big fat beyond 10, and I need to be able to hold R2S and to think about that peak of that rage. The peak of that rage, and I'm supposed to become conscious of this. But then I look at, and that's the deficiency, is that I don't have this. I'm not complete inside, and I feel deficient because you get to do what you want to do, and now you got to make it stop. So in my adult world, it's kind of the same thing. I'm doing my thing. You may get angry. And then all of a sudden, as I'm going to speak, I'm not allowed to. So this goes into the little child's thinking again. It sits in the nerves. So I have to correct myself. So now I have to look at how I become conscious of not just getting angry and then calming it down. I still have that root to take care of. But the another root is how I trained myself to think. This broadcast. And I said, can I just roll out the broadcast? Not necessarily. Can I roll out the deficiency? People are like, you can just roll out any emotion. That's not, you have to grow. You have to take responsibility about how you're choosing to do certain things. You understand? So I am conditioned. I conditioned myself to do the right thing. And that is what I'm beginning to heal. So for me, it sits in my L2D. which is my liver. And I have to have impulse control, the temptation to want to beat somebody, or because it runs in the epigenetic of my family, okay, my father's side. And it's like, but I don't want to be that. I woke up as a soul saying, I don't want to be a beater. I don't want, I got to take care of this rage. I got to know. So I had said to myself in my soul contract, we're not doing this. And I want harmony, but I have to notice. So for me, I am deficient in knowing how. And literally, I need to heal deficient. I don't know how to do this. So I would hold R1S. And if you don't know what those points are, I'll tell you if you want to know. But I'm going to hold R1S because I don't know how to keep this relationship going. I do know the feeling that, oh my God, deficiency, I screwed it up. You get a whole nother conversation right there. Oh my God. Oh, this is where a lot of people are. And it's because they haven't learned, and this is again, right wrist, first position stuff. What do I say or do to fix this to have a relationship? Then it's another one is that, okay, I don't understand how to do social connection, the second chakra. And that's where my responsibility is growth to occur. Do you understand so far? So I can measure this deficiency that I don't know how to do any of this. And it's beyond a 10. But if I go not think through this adult mind, but when I was like had my last fresh experience, or I can remember of going, oh my gosh, I'd be so angry. I didn't care. And then I do care. So I will towards myself stop to the point where a memory of how my mother constantly told me not to hit people. And I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to do that. And so I let somebody that was, shorter than me, because my mothers don't hit anybody. Again, old training. And this girl wanted me to stay and do her dishes and her homework for her. And I said no, and I walked away. And as I walked away, I grabbed my stuff. I went home. And as I'm standing in the kitchen, my mother's like, stop making that noise. So she's fighting me through the door. And I couldn't hit her, but nobody said I couldn't take and open the door real quick, smack her in the face with the door, and then lock the door. But my mother screamed, stop making so much. So fine, I went outside. And I'm not supposed to hit anybody. So she pushed me down. I got back up. She punched me. I didn't fight back. I just stood there, looked at her. She got so mad because I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't respond. She hated it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't fight back. She didn't know what to do because all her life, all she's ever known was to fight physically and yell and win. Well, this was a completely different story. And I regretted that I did not understand my mother's rules. Because, man, if my mother, because when I went inside, she goes, why are you bloody? Well, my mother says, well, why didn't you punch her back? I'm like, oy vey, you just, yeah, mixed signals, right? So, anyways, this is how I do readings. You can do them for yourself, you can do them for other people. But again, I'm not your therapist. I'm the one that has the tools so that I can look and see when you're spouting off or when you are looking at something, where you are losing power, where there's karma kickbacks, where is this with your energy field? And I'll tell you, and I will give you the tools so you can do this yourself. But as long as you behave right now, as long as you understand, what does this mean to me? You have to wake up to the witnessing. You have to wake it up to the growth that, but I don't want to be this. And I don't have to be the victim to my own, problems with impulse control. Okay. Okay. Why regret is important. You do it, then regret. It is to stop doing it. Remember, you are love. And it's the energy of regret. So if I go back and I'm like, okay, so is it really in my mind because I have before, during, and after the experience? So are you just getting my attention about regret? And do I really have to heal regret? And they go, yes, but the regret is not just a regret feeling. In this case, towards myself, I feel this deficiency. And so there's a blame game, and I regret blaming myself. And my pendulum was saying, yes, I regret blaming myself. So I said, so I have a tendency during, let's say, in my adult life to sit there and do the before and during and after. And after is I blame myself. And then I correct myself so that I show up to you and behave towards you and show you love. But what am I doing to myself in the meantime? Okay. What did I do to myself in the meantime? That's what we have to look and understand. So as I look at this becomes a longing. So I says, so is that issue of giving that gift? Is it a regret? No. Is it a longing? Yes. So I regret like leaving. I regret. They go, but notice that you want to connect, but they don't want to, and it's a whole different story now. Because in me, it's like, yeah. I mean, I caught myself sitting there thinking about my kids. I thought, I'd like to have an update picture. But I didn't run there. I didn't go there. I didn't go crazy. I didn't, I'm like, do I call? Do I ask? Well, I did, but I didn't get. They're very insecure. But at the same time, this longing, they don't want me. So I said, is this deficiency in this longing, this regret, are any of those emotions? No. It is how toward yourself you feel deficient, that you're not able to enjoy this love with people. They don't want you. Now, I could sit there from a child's position and be really hurt, but I've also gone and been in the other perspectives where I'm just not in sync with people. I don't want them. Does that mean I hate them? No. Does that mean I don't want them in my space? Yeah, because we just don't have a lot in common. So why do I want to be connected to these people? Because that's all I've ever known. But they're not healthy for me. They're not like-minded people. So I need to heal to that degree. Is that I have this belief system that I'm supposed to be in their life, and I'm supposed to feel sad about it. And I said, so am I really sad? No. Am I supposed to feel sad about it? Yes. Is this just a belief system from society and the collective? Yes. Well, I want that gone. I want that gone. They said, good, then you go to L2D and you'll look at how it's not true that you're supposed to be this, this, and this, and this, and this. It's okay to let them go. And it's okay. I don't need this longing, this yearning, and be in this suffering story. So then it gets like, what's in my subconscious mind that I may have forgotten? And they said it had a lot to do with is you forgot yourself. Along the way, you put yourself away and put others first. Wow, okay. It's okay. It's okay to be me. I can love me. Do I have multiple neural pathways on how to resolve these strategies or splits? It's so funny that I know what she's talking about, but I don't know what she's talking about. And it's like, I can't even answer that. I know those certain words. Oh, very good. So like outside validation, we're taught in a relationship, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? And you look, I'm always as a kid, you do this as a kid. Mom, is it okay? Dad, is it okay? Your friends, is it okay? So who is not taking care of this vehicle? If you're looking for those outside validations, then there's fear involved. Now, here's the thing where we're going. I didn't expect to talk about all of this today because I have been learning from Claire Graves, and there's 8 particular collective values of our existence. And if we do not evolve through these, and they're stacked one by one, not one's better than the other, and it's about me, we, me, we, okay? But it's this level of growth inside a person that once they get it, it will be like, what? They'll get it. They'll absolutely just get it. And let me see if I can find it. That's not the one. So it's like the problem determines the level, not vice versa. The no right or wrong, the wrong application of a level to a problem. So that means you also can't take this, how you created solution in the first one, you can't apply it to the other one. You're meant to learn how to wake up in between all of these and create a growth before you get into self-actualizations. So problems from one level may not be a problem when you see another level. No level should be seen as better or worse than any other level. And so I've decided to study this one level at a time. So that first level, which they don't even consider, like they don't even consider it as a one, but it'd be like beige. And but it's survival. My survival is important. And that is very important for that frontal lobe, so that if a child's brain is not damaged, it will cry out when it's born. It has to rely on the outside. So you're learning how to create that we relationship, right? And if you can create this independence to learn how to survive, because it is very important to you. Values are what's important to you. That's all you really need to know. Values are what's important to you. And it's like, okay, so if the baby did not know how, if the damaged part of the frontal lobe wasn't that it didn't understand what's going on and it didn't have that communication, that stress mode to cry out to get milk, it will wither and die. So when the baby doesn't know what it needs to know, like it needs to be held, it needs to be dry, it needs to have food, diaper changed, it needs to be loved. And if you don't know this, then you're not going to survive. So this biochemical suit is meant to help you, survive. Now, so I remember having different experiences and I've survived each one 100%, but I didn't know that at the time as a kid. Now, as I begin to, can I survive? So if I didn't have my husband, could I survive? And usually now we can say it's about money and shelter, right? How would you survive? I know I would, because I had we were climbing a mountain, Mount Kosciuszko, and then we climbed Mount Zero and Mount Wellington, zigzag track, and all these. And what it was is that my body was like going, why did you do this? Well, you don't know what you're made of. I put myself in this situation, and yet at the same time, I want to sit down. Oh, the ground's wet. No, it's important for me to stay dry. So I'd rather just stand in my stems and go, okay, I'm tired. But at the same time, I also know, nope, if there was nobody here, how would I get myself out of it? It's not anybody else's job to save me. Okay, we're so used to going, you do it, you do it, you do it, you do it. Or we get clever and make you do it, or make it your idea to do it. But in the end, How do you do it? Do you have to feel scared? Do you have to do that fear that you can't survive? And it turns on your ability to become a resolver. And that's what's beautiful, is being this resolver. And so then once you know that you can actually do this, then it becomes, can you do this the tribal, and it's important. And that is like, it goes from me to we. Now, this is where I was saying that why is it I keep wanting to hook up with people that are not like-minded to me, that are completely opposite in their thinking, and they may hate and I love. And it's like, but why? It's because imprinting. There's this little bird that my husband saved, and it imprinted on my husband. Okay, it's grown up now. It's living in our yard. It dominates the whole yard. It's like, this is my place. These are my people. And I get into the car, and I'm reaching down and making sure all that's taken care of. And I look up, and this bird is like looking in. Is that you? Is that you? Is you? So I get a little closer to the window, and she looks at me and she goes, "It's just you." I swear to God, I could see the whole disappointment on this bird's face. Oh, I said, stand still. Let me take the picture so I can show Mr. Allen. And then she got down, and then it's like, and then I swear this bird follows us, because we'll be like, it's like, hey, look at me, how, pick our window of where we're staying and which car, how'd she know? But this little bird imprinted. So I've imprinted that this is all I know. And I don't know how to survive without it. But yet I cannot remember the movie, and maybe some of you may have. That was to do with cavemen and cave times. And this cave woman apparently got pregnant by, I don't know, I can't remember who and how. I think it could be Daryl Hannah. She was blonde hair, I think, at the time. Anyway, she was kicked out of the tribe. So she created her own tribe. She went out, she raised the baby, and whatever. But the point is that can you survive outside of your tribe? And in that tribe, do you, when it comes to the we, do you give your power away to the point so that you all can just get along? So weird, I can be very angry, but I hate fighting. So I need to not have conflicts within myself. So each of these levels you go up to, you cannot go to the next one unless you pass it. Now you can go back to visit and grow even further. But people are like, oh, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to answer all these. See, I'm already spiritual, completely 100%. But does the body, does your life show this? Or are you stuck at any of these me-we values? And this is what the collective's going through. So you're going to really see the world be divided between me-we. I could not believe my ears when I heard, and I'm all about love and diversity and caring. That there was this church that believes that, and it just ranted, and it's just hate speech, that gays should be killed. And I was like, wait, in this day and age, we haven't grown. Some of us are still stuck at certain me-we values. I said, so what's in me that I have to heal? So my outer world, when I look, my inner world creates my inner world. When I no longer have to see people in this particular collective. And this is the question I had asked, and this is what I'm seeing today. I have to look inside of me to change this. So we imprint that these are our parents. This is what I know. But you are now standing in a position that you're in charge of changing the definitions of how you know. Change it. Don't just stick in one perspective. Begin to develop. Do you need to keep getting kicked in the teeth just because it's family. No. Do you need to always be taken advantage of because it's family? So what are your values? What's important to you? Well, family is important to me. Is it? Is it? Are you anywhere on that list? Are you doing just a wee, but keep inside going me, and then it becomes so controversial? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? People, you know what I'm talking about. It comes into your contrary. That's not the word. That's another word. But you show the world that I can do it, you can't, and or you'll go, you can, but I can't. So we're looking at these perspectives. We're looking for this potential for growth, but not just look for it. Now we want to live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, dream it, and imagine. And allow yourself to realize you do not have to sit there and go, oh, my insecurities, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I just can't do that. I mean, me, it was like people driving me insane. So I've had to heal out that sanity is important to me. How do I keep it? Well, do I avoid fights? What do I do? Do I bark back so hard that it scares everybody? What do I do? You learn what you didn't have, but then you need to learn again so you can get back to harmony, because you always go from one extreme to the other. There's lots and lots of other things that I could talk to you about today. But what is the takeaway? Lots of takeaways here. But what's the takeaway? And for me, I don't have to believe my own BS. For me, it is understanding that I can heal myself. I can literally heal myself. And I don't have to keep doing knee-jerk reactions, bee stings, or bitch slaps. I don't have to learn the hard way. I can learn on a whisper. I can bring myself back to center. I can balance my impulse control. I can sit there and realize that I can find the answers within. And it isn't intellectualizing and hurting somebody. No. That's very much division. You want unity. So we have Miss April Lynn, people that have paid. Now Amy has paid, but she's willing to go anytime. But April Lynn has paid, so she's jumped the queue. I'm going to give her her chat read. And if you're here and want to participate, let me know. And if you have stayed around, you can get your free reading. Okay, if I've never read you before, you get your free reading. Okay, so if you are here and I can help you help yourself to take care and alleviate these negative emotions, or to look at and say, I want to break up with these relationships with my negativity, or this negativity, or the anything that keeps you from growing. So Luigi, you just wait, and I'll put your name Lungy, Lung Eye, Lung. I'll put your name down, but April Lynn, I'm just gonna see if she's here. Big James, hi, how are you? You could do some healing. Is that James I know? Hopefully it is. I think it is. Hi. You're going through a rough patch, dude. Let's see. I don't know if she's here. Yes, it is. Okay. Well, I did send you something through my husband's account for Alan. You were going through a rough patch, and I had said, here, do this. So you have to learn. One thing I will say to you, sweetheart, is that right now you got it. Okay. You are in this pain, and the pain is speaking, and in which the pain is now saying that you're the victim, and you're at the stage of not wanting to be there, but you want the attention from somebody else. And so you got to take care of this pain. And Mr. James, I want you to, again, L2D, because there's you're waffling back and forth between emotions and thoughts. And if you just get the blood to come back to your forebrain, you can start to think a little bit more in a healthy way. So definitely left wrist, second position. 1, 2. Push in deep with your thumb, finger in palm, hold the fingers. Do that. Okay, so I think April went to bed. I could actually, okay, so I'll do hers then in a minute, because if she went to bed, that means I can just go ahead and jump over. So Lungai, I know I'm saying it wrong. Very sorry. It's hard for me to do math and spelling in my head sometimes. You would like a free reading, and I'm looking at, let's see, was there anything particular? Just a please, soulmate. So you were looking for love, and if I sit and are you okay to start to look at from your angle, what are you going to change from your point of view? So that you can change the frequency to allow this person in, if you have decided you're willing to do that. I said, so you have several soulmates. We all do, and these are people that are here to help you grow, to learn, to see, and all of this. Is a soul mate in horizon? And it says, oh, absolutely, the potential anytime. I said, so, and there's a reason they don't have it. And it says, yes, right now is that you're afraid of being disapproved of. Your actions, your being, anything about you. I don't want people to disapprove of me. Or I've been in fights with other people, and there's always this topic of disapproval. Can you relate to the word disapproval, disapproved of? Something about you they may not like, and so that's a form of disapproval. Okay, so they said to help you deal with this, because when you're in relationships and there's this disapproval that whatever is going on, and you can feel it, you put these self-imposed limitations and you limit yourself to the degree that you become so less than, and your body and you're like, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. And I said, so where do you want them to begin? So when you think about that soulmate of oh my god, they're going to disapprove of me, I don't know how to handle when that happens. But look at the word disapproval, measure that disapproval. Disapproval is like, I feel so incompatible when I feel this disapproval. Measure it again, and you then can use your body. Right wrist, first position, push in deep. Okay, right wrist, first position. So it goes 1, 2, 3. And you push in deep, finger in the palm, safe, secure stability. It is the palm of the hand, okay, to the forehead, fingers drop. Now let the body do its work. You don't sit there as because. That means you don't want to heal. I want you to drop into the feel. Oh, this person, oh God, they disapproved of me. Oh, how do you know it happened? That is what you heal. Oh, it's happening now. Feel how all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's happening. Now I got to stop myself from being this because I don't want it to happen. Do you understand? Oops, I mean, my necklace thing please fall off. So that is your reading. Because your fear, anxiety, I don't want it to happen again. And you're losing a lot of life force to this particular, when I do this, I sit there and stop myself from growing, living, and being. And this is why I want you to just break down that emotional chemical peptide. So you don't have to do it again. Measure it, keep measuring it. After 15 minutes, measure it. And if you feel it's going down, okay. Get back in there and get it to 0. Now, if it comes back up and you hear, my automatic reaction is to pull away, limit myself. I can feel it, but it feels just a little different, but I can understand the story. You're looking at all the layers on this particular thing. So you're going to go back to R1D, right wrist, first position deep. Okay, you want to rewatch this again? Go on over to YouTube, and you can watch it as many times as you want. You can't see it, but I have a clock next to me, and you will have your name, because I have moderators. They'll have your name and the timestamp, but you'll go and you'll look at my show, and you'll see my date the time that you had your reading. Watch as many times you want. Leave a comment, subscribe, because any reading that I have, you can keep watching it. All right, thank you. Now, anybody else here? I don't know if she stayed. Nita's gone. Mindy, are you there? Teresa, are you there? I have these people left. I don't know. You are welcome. And anybody else? I see Hope. Did Hope one? I don't think I've ever read you before. Anybody else here that would like a free reading to help you? If I've never read you before, but if I have read you before and you want the opportunity, you can go anywhere from 5, 15, or 25. 25 gets you the ability to, I'll give you a link and you can come onto my show. You don't have to have video, you can just have audio. That depends on you. Oh, thank you for the flowers. Thank you very much. So let's see. Just looking all over. Hi, Teresa. How is my grand? So has she passed? Okay, so hold her in your mind if that's the case. And once you do, then, okay, so how fresh is this? Because there's this different picture that I'm looking at. So how fresh is this? Meaning, was it just recent? Has it been a while? Because I can see the motor in your mind, like your 41 thoughts per minute are on this particular topic. And so it depends on, see now I see, she doesn't see me yet, but I see her see you. She stands next to you because she's looking at you crying. And she's like, why, dear? Why? Now I'm hearing, again, she doesn't notice I'm talking to her or listening. And as soon as, if she can look at me, she's not sad. It's not sad. So it's been a while. So that's why I'm looking at, okay, that's probably why then. But she still doesn't understand, why, dear? Why? Now, it's not that they are stupid or anything. It's just that, again, I'm trying to get her attention. She's really focused on you. And now oh, it's interesting. She says, this is a memory that you keep going through a particular memory. Are you thinking of the last words that you guys talked about or whatever? But she's saying, and so I'm just going to ask directly. Says her concern is that, are you okay? How's my grand? Okay, so this is for those that have passed over. This is they go into a complete love state. Okay, the physical body's gone, but their mental and emotional body that you put on when you become human, that gets burned up because that's a personality that comes through as this form. So over there, they go back to that state of school, the state of learning, the state of growth, and the state of love. So they do keep those particular personalities, but they don't operate as that particular personality type thing. So I'm great. I think no, they're happy. It's that there's, okay. So now I'm going to ask her, well, you can tell me anytime, dear. I'm with you. She says, so I never got to say goodbye. Now she's pointing at me, meaning you can help her with that because you can have a personal talk with me. I'm here. You are thinking in your mind, oh, flesh and blood. I never got to say goodbye. So now she's pointing at me to help you. So that feeling, I never got to say goodbye, it's a very, very strong thing. And I'm going to ask you, and she's asking me to help you on this here, so I will. Oh, there it goes. Thank God you're on the other screen here. This one just went to poo-poo. Hold on, I got to fix it. There we go. If you could follow along with what I'm doing, you're doing it to your own body. I'm doing the example on me. She says, measure how that feeling, I never got to say goodbye. So I know it's a 10, but you had time. So now it feels like, well, it's numb. Can you feel that state of, I never get to say goodbye, but yet you feel like maybe time has helped you move on, but yet you feel this numb? You can measure that. 10 being the worst. And if you can sit with that, then follow along with me, okay? So you're going to go to your right foot, okay? And this, you're going to go to the right foot. You're going to follow the inside part of your toe. So big toe up past that bunion, that bone here. You're going to go up here just a little bit. Okay. Now, right there, you're going to take your hand. You're going to go palm, flip it, back of the hand, palm, back of the hand. Do that 24 times for me. Because your magnetic flow of energy is frozen. This is why it's like you got stopped in time. It's like I'm stuck in time. So now you're going to, after you've done that with the palm, the back hand, you want you to push in and deeply rub. Don't slide. That does nothing. Push in. Penetrate. Push in. Okay? You see it? Big toe. Go to your right leg. Big toe. Come up. Nope. It's this one. So on the side. So don't look at this one. Look at this one. So side of your foot, past the bone, right here. Okay, Vicki. She said she paid. Excellent. Okay. Now, okay. Now that you've done that, hold on. I just caused my pendulum to create a complete knot. And I'm having a hot flash. So energy just opened up. God. Do rub again in that spot. Rub again in that spot. Another 30 times would be great. Wow, you haven't, this has been stuck. How long is it? When did you pass? How many years, months, days, weeks, whatever? Your whole body's like going, oh. I felt the release, just felt this major release. So we have to wait for the recalibration just for a moment, if you don't mind. Now, did you do it physically? Because I can see the rest of you did. And I got to make sure you're still connected with me so we can communicate. 4 years. Okay, so you've been stuck for 4 years. Have you developed any, maybe it's more mental or emotional than instead of physical, because see, you can start causing physical problems, but I think this is more of a feeling like you're in the dark night. How am I supposed to live? Was she a major support system in your world? All right. Okay, so your whole body. All right, we're going to do this again, but this time you're going to go right side. And you are going to follow the between the second and the third toe. You're going to go straight up, just before the curve, right there in the top. See that? You're going to take, and you remember that hand we did, palm, back of the hand, palm. This is what you call a magnet. If you have a real magnet, that's fine too. Okay, and then you do that 24 times. Then you push in. Okay, you won't be able to push in very hard because we have these little bones right there. But push in, deeply push. Do that 30 times. Ooh, wow, that's whatever you're doing, the body is like, it's helping. Oh, when you're done with that, let me know. And then I want you to take a second. And I want you to in your mind, do you feel how you felt when we asked the question? I asked you to measure. I never got to say goodbye. There is a shift that I can feel. Do you feel like you feel bad, regret, sad, anything that is like, I need to say goodbye? Because she says, remember, you get to talk to me. I'm always happy. I'm always here. I'll be here. I am still been your support. I can do this, but I need you to receive me. You can't hear me when you're in that emotional negative state. Now, do you feel like they say when something bad happens, you go into the sad space and then that dwells you even further? They go, don't even need that anymore. Literally go, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm good. Now, I will tell you that if you want to talk to your grand more, there is a, what deck of cards? It's, and of course, I do not have them here. an oracle deck that has everything to do with, they love this deck because they want you to grow. And this deck is the Four Agreements. So if you looked up the Four Agreements Oracle deck, that is, if you choose to want, and you just have to say, just so when you got the cards, you go, okay, Grand, I'd like to talk. Shuffle, feel like she's present. And if you can, then you just throw down one or two cards and just kind of listen to what they're saying to you. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Hi, Amber. How you doing? Hi, Teresa. How are you? Okay. So we did have somebody that paid, and then I'll come back for anybody else that wants this particular reading. Let me look. Did it come through? Let's see. I need to hit download because I saw it come on my screen over here, but it didn't come on my screen. There it is. Just need to refresh. Anything in particular, Miss Vicky? And thank you so much for honoring yourself. And remember, Teresa, if you want to listen to this again, just come on over to YouTube, Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. You can rewatch this as many times as you want. Give it a thumbs up and give it a subscribe. That would be good. Thank you so much. I feel so much better. So 0 to 10, 10, is it down? Now, just when you think when it's to 0, and when you really feel like it's understand, they want to connect more. It's not about disconnecting at all. Thank you for the share. Thank you for getting this out there and creating this movement. Thank you. So Spirit, what Spirit? So here we go, Vicky. Vicky has paid. Does this have to do with your physical health? Because I feel like it's very much your physical health. And I said, so the physical health has to do with something emotional. And you are on a soul level going, I need to change something in my life because I don't understand. They say you are learning not to be oblivious to something. And your soul is working on waking up to something. So on the physical level, that one of the things that's happening is that in relationships, somebody has crossed the territory. Somebody is invading your space. And how you used to cope, handle, and deal with it is your body's saying, yuck, and it's complaining. So let's address this. You with me so far? So are you more passive than aggressive when somebody basically invades your space? Do you just let it happen? Do you let it flow and you're a good person and they know to do this every time to you? Do you understand what I'm saying, Vicky? Because I'm looking at how they like to make certain confusions. It says unable to go live, an internet error. That is the bizarrest thing. Internet error. Okay, we're back. That is so bizarre when that happens. All right, it's back up and running now. Depends on who it is. Okay. Now, regardless of how often it's happened, and you have a root, and your body is saying that you are got to wake up to something here. So this is, I said, so whatever last physical thing that was going on in your body. I think you said something about how your immune system is acting, and this is based on it. I said, so tell me more. Is it an invading energy that's going in, invading energy? And they said, so you can tell when somebody crosses the line. Okay, but there's a confusion that they do. So there's a certain amount of, so these are the people that create confusion to push the boundaries to get a yes out of you. Does this make, is it more clear? Is it more clear? The reason I say this is because what's happening is that this certain confusion will cause you to shut down emotionally. And they will keep proceeding. If you can relate to however they're behaving, your response to the body is to shut down. Now, this is not very good for the immune system because then the immune system, there's an enemy afoot. So you want to help the body. So you got to begin to notice that the body's showing up because you do this. So anytime that you're with socially connecting and you emotionally shut down, you got to catch that point and you got to recognize when you do it and how it feels, like the energy that makes you feel like you want to shut down. I would look at that. And if you're looking at that, then I would definitely hold left wrist, second position soft. It's what makes you shut down. But you have to look at the peak of it. So because the body then, you don't realize it, and the body says, no, we don't want this to happen again and again and again. It keeps pushing, but it keeps shutting your energy down. Okay, so they're saying this perspective needs to be done because so it's the shutting down. Literally pay attention. Is it shut down? What was cute? Did I do something? Or how long ago was that? But anyways, go heal. You got to catch it. Re-listen to this again. Thumbs up, subscribe, communicate, help get the ratings up. Thank you. Now, anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. I did miss it then. All right. We're looking for people that you're looking for a free reading, or if you want to pay, you can do that. It's up to you. Anybody else here? It's good interacting and talking to you. And just looking. Anybody here that has not had a reading before? Love the interaction. Okay. Alrighty. That's weird. It just made. So if your immune system, okay, here's another thing, Vicki, or anybody that's listening. So you have a collarbone. You know how that dents in? Okay. So if you lymphatic movement, so you can exercise, you can do all of this, but it's unless you went for massage. Where does all of this go before it dumps through the heart? It doesn't go just to the heart first. So right in here, okay? So if you want to help, yes, you want to stimulate very lightly on your body so it goes up. But the reservoir, where it dumps before it goes into, can get really cloggy. Very light, you start, and then just you create a stimulation motion, lift off, stimulate. Do that about 10 times on each side. Okay, you do it any way you want, but just creating that stimulation. And then just once or if you're using cranial sacral, then just get move it in and then relax it, and then relax your fingers and then let it start to draw. And you'll feel it because all of a sudden your hands will gently want to move with the fascia. You can feel where it gets stuck. Just stay there quietly. And then it'll move, and then all of a sudden it'll stop. And just sit there because you're sitting in this. You'll start to feel this different connection between the way the body and the brain communicates. Oh, into the body. That's cute. Thank you. The little wing. Adorable. Okay. So you're just listening. Wonderful, wonderful. But if you want a free reading, you can have one. If I haven't given you one before, so you can have one. Now, we've talked about a lot of things. And before I go on to give the readings for other people, I want you to pay attention that this day and age, it's about you and getting and understanding the levels of consciousness, which is our values and what is important to us. If you are a child, you're going to think different values than when you're an adult with different values. But if we don't grow out of those stages, okay, there's nothing wrong with loving to do certain things like you did as a child. But if you have not learned to let go, so it goes me, we, meaning there's different ways. But these emotions can keep you trapped at these different values levels. so that when you get older, your life is harder. But if you go, no matter where you start, no matter what age you do, you can go back and heal these particular emotions and these different ways of being. And so it changes so it can support the choice of being a healthier adult, okay? A better, healthier, aligned adult with the vibration of love. Okay. We're going to close that there. And we're going to do Miss April Lynn's reading. Okay. Wow. Oh, only thing that's screaming in my head is shame, shame, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame on you. I said, which direction is this coming? If I was April and I'm shaming out here, they said no. If I'm April and I'm looking and somebody's shaming at me, no. If I'm looking and it's like, oh, that behavior you should be shamed about. Yes. So it is this group collective about you should be ashamed for this or that or the other. Then I'm hearing old patterns with people that's how they learn to control you. So a certain amount of shame or guilt was placed upon you to make you behave according to the rules of the person you're with. This is going to be a big one. You're at arrested development. So this file has come up and it needs closure now. You're at arrested development. And what is it? The continued story, a particular emotion. They said it has to do with action. It's like if somebody else wants you to take action, because I think it's the right thing to do, then they know how to do it. You can't see it. So let's see if we can understand more what they're saying. They were saying that if they can get you to spin, create a little confusion, duress you just enough, and people can duress, push, can do it enough, and they can do it to the point where it is marked. So I'm watching how your nervous system has marked that this is how you're supposed to be motivated. I says, could you be motivated without it? No. So you're kind of also addicted to it. You're craving that this happens. Yes. And now again, it's not the brain. So Miss April, I feel you're doing a chase. Hold on. So that means you want something, you want to do something, you want to take a certain amount of action, but you can't do it because you don't want to do it the way you were taught. And so it's hard to muster up the ability to take this motivation. Again, you're at a crossroads. I don't want to go back to how it's done it before, and I don't want to. So I said, are you in a full arrest development? And it's like, yes, but it's not heavy. So it's not a 10, so it's like a 5. So how do we bust this open? It's a strange feeling. Makes me want to jump and move. It creates a lot of anxiety. So I have this belief that I gotta chase after I want, which I'll never get, because I'm running from what always has. And I said, let's take this. And they said, it's a habit that lofty people. So I have to, I want to do what I want to do, but I don't want these lofty people anymore. But I can't do what I want to do. So my part of me is calling in these lofty people. Can you see, hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. And I said, to push me, to get people to push me, I've got to have no empathy. You got to have no empathy? Yes. Then it won't matter if I hurt my feelings or if I hurt somebody else's. Because then I won't. So you're saying your empathy for caring about other people, to know how other people act and live and feel, you prevent yourself from moving forward. Sorta. Okay, so this is based on how your child had thought about it. So there's a certain amount of deficiency that you're learning to outgrow. All right. They said, but notice there's this temptation, but I can't cross that. I want it, but I can't. So this is what you taught yourself. I really want it, but I can't. That statement alone, I really want it, but I can't. You literally rest yourself, develop. I can't get what I want. I'm like, tell me more. They said, so L2D is that I want to exert my power to do so, but I care about what other people think. They said, no, I said that wrong. Your child says, I know what I care. I don't want to hurt others. See, this is where all of a sudden, because I feel like you're very young and you misunderstood something you learned as a child from your parents. Because it goes now back to a 3-year-old self where it's about both feeling deficient and I'm supposed to take action. I can't, but I can. I can't, I can. So you were kind of clear that I want to. And so if we look at from your mother's point of view, but fear says I can't. I want to, but fear says I can't. Okay. And then they said, then you go in your 4. The deficiency is I am conditioned that I can't. So they said, if you were going to look at the conditioning then becomes L2D. The left wrist, second position D. I am conditioned to not do it. I am conditioned to not take action about what I want because they know I can't. They believe I can, and they don't want me to because of their insecurities. See, now you're making a little breakthrough. It's their insecurities. So now you would then hold R3D based on it's their insecurities. And that is one of the things that hold me back. So when they go off and they spout, they do whatever, they go into self-preservation. They don't want you to do it because they have insecurities. I want you to begin to feel how they're the one that's having the fear and the insecurities. Okay. All right. So one of the things they said is that really look at the parents. And I said, is it safety? No, it's about security. So they feel very insecure. I said, do they feel unsafe? No. So it's insecure for sure. Safety, security, stability. Who didn't feel like they had stability and they had to give up some part of their life to create a stability so they could feel stable? So you'll look at that, and that is also R3D. Serenity, sanity. There's a certain amount of insane feeling, insaneness, insane. If they tell you enough, then it's like, there's a pushing, there's this insaneness. Then that is what you really need to pay attention to. So that definitely is R3D. Freedom, serenity. Okay, so those are the what you need to work on. All right, thank you so much for paying and caring. Now, Joanna, for some reason, I don't recognize the name. Sometimes I get into these channel states, I have an issue. If I could see your face, maybe I could. It's too small. I can't see. Sorry about that. I'm sure if we, jog my memory, it would. Okay. It's all about spiritual growth. So I am a spiritual teacher. I am a spiritual investigator. This is about you learning how you can make a change in your world. Okay. We're going to look around and remember that this movement depends on you as well. We'd love to see a change in this world. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm looking at it's just all of a sudden went out of my head. That's fine. Hi, Melody. How's the baby? Yeah. Hi. Hi, Sarah. How are you? It's good to see you. You're helping me with my pot symptoms. Oh, okay. Well, how are you doing with that? Are you continue? Do you get through? Sometimes when we have certain symptoms, it'll be layers of how we've behaved, how our value is. What's important to us, and so it gets a little crazy, but we help you heal yourself. We help you address it. I'm going to go over and get Miss Amy. Oh, there it is. Wasn't going to pop up. Ah, so the video was the little wing bird. Okay. In life, I just you can just become a healthier, stronger person. Healthy alignment, getting more into the unity of love. Ah, Amber says, Brenda, you're the absolute best at helping people identify and begin to heal. Thank you. You have no idea how much of a transformation you helped me through. I'm so grateful for you. Oh, thank you, Amber. I'm beginning to believe you because I think we've talked many times. And then I haven't seen you in a while, and then you're coming back and saying the same thing. So you must have really learned to see how your life has changed, and you must like it and keeping it. Keep going because you are an important soul, and a good person, and just keep growing. Keep going, Miss Amber. Keep growing. It's always hard to know how you help somebody, especially if you haven't communicated and seen the world change. It's yeah, let's see. Multi-speak. Oh wait, I gotta get gallery. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a little dark in your space all of a sudden.
I
It's like
know. I don't
this
know.
is
It's getting dark outside. I don't know.
So how are you?
It's been a strange weekend.
Okay. And what would you like me to address?
Dig in.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Telling me they want me to come over here. Hmm. So there's a certain amount of stress that you seem to be um certain amount of stress. Really?
Oh.
So a certain amount of stress that your body is saying if you don't take care of could lead you down a different road, which we understand. So I said, is the body still in that trajectory? And they said no. But it is all about learning about deficiency where you could develop. So if somebody asked you questions, you went, huh? Okay. If you've felt incompatible, then your old pattern is going to go, huh? And what can you talk about? What can you say? They said, are you in one? No, you will be addressing part of a dark night of a soul. So, okay, from here, we know that you've done a lot of a healing, witnessing, and growing. When you would look back at a dark night of soul, what do you think that means? Or
It
did
means a space where you have to learn what your soul is asking you to learn in order to come out of it and be able to look back and go, oh, there's the wisdom.
okay, so now what does it feel like for those that do it every day?
How?
Oh, okay. So they're saying that there's a part of you that may feel like it needs to go to hell.
I can understand that real easy.
Okay, and they said, now this hell, you got to understand, hell are your own prison of your beliefs of what you think the story's about.
Hmm.
It is pulling you from that unity, that connection, that heart-brain coherence. Okay. So they said, yes, she becomes aware. Now, here's the thing. It's between relationships. So this particular hell is not just in your field. This is about you and your social connections to the world, because you are getting closer and closer, connecting more and more with people. And so I said, so are you saying it's going to be safer for her to bring a human close to her? No, not yet, not yet, because she hasn't seen how she displays herself as her parents. I said, is that part of the dark night? No, 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 no. They said, we're working on deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's about timing. It's about inefficient. So put down timing and inefficient. When I asked them to explain about the timing, it is always on parents' time. It's always on somebody else's timeline. It's always they're directing the time, what to do with your time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now they said you feel inefficient. Okay. So this inefficient is this asking you to do something you don't have knowledge about. No. Inefficient is that they're always asking me to do something that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do. And I said, is it because it's just not in your wheelhouse? No, it is just that I feel very deficient. So now this is going to have me ask the question, because we've been talking about it. And it is now on the planet that we have to start addressing. So the question then becomes, is this the first level in the growth and then, of our existence? And they said, yes. So I said, have you passed that survival? My survival is important. And they go, no, you haven't quite passed it because you feel deficient in this area. And I said, is this have to do with money? Not really. It has to do with shelter. No. Does this have to do with food? No. Water? No. Bodily needs? Nope. Clean clothes? Nope. Dry? This has to do with I don't know how to believe in myself. Oh, so this has to do with believing in yourself. So did your parents totally believe that you would never be able to survive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this has to do with I'm never going to be able to survive. Well, as a baby, you came out of the womb and you freaking survived.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so is it the birth? No. Is it the family you grew up with? Yes. So there's an epigenetic on your code of your cells that has a lot to do with your deficient. So it's their view of you. So again, remember, this is the scalar field. This is the relationship energy you guys share. They have this belief that you can't do it, and they will tell you that you can't do that. Not that you can't do that and behave. It is, I don't see how, okay, like if I walked up to you and you're going to do something that you can't do that. It's like, I know you can't do that. If I asked you to do a pull up, to pull yourself up, I could literally use, no, you can't do that. Why? Because I know I can't do that. Well, why can't I do that? Because I know that if I'm a heavy girl and I'm going to go pull myself up, I haven't got the strength to do so, because that means I would have to be able to lift over 200 and some pounds to hoist myself up. I have disproportionate energies where if you watch somebody that is like the kids and they climb, my kids, oh my God, when they were little, everything was proportioned the same. So they would climb up like monkeys up and down my wall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them. And as they started to grow, my daughter's hips would change and all of this. And she wasn't able to do it as much, not because she was heavy, but because there was different proportions. And same for my son. And it's like, okay, now it becomes heavier and you can't do this. So I can deduct and reason in that fashion. But to look at you and to say you can't do that, there is a certain amount of judgment But it's not just reasoning, it is held with a particular emotion. And I feel it is this lie so that you would never grow up and stay their baby.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also this I don't trust that you can do the right thing because and it was their fears.
Mm-hmm.
So they taught you to forget yourself, to believe in yourself, that you can do this. And you had to look at them to get a yes or a no. And it was their insecurities, their insanity, actually. They felt insane with whatever they couldn't handle. And they would look through that lens at you and you have to display for your parents because you're looking for that yes, but you're looking and you can't do it now because they're gone. So for you to take this next part of your path, you got to take and look at this lie that's actually a lie to you, truth to them, but it's not true at all. But because you've been exposed to it so much as a child, you're going to produce people to show up, to say, and to do. And the first thing about this lie is that you're supposed to abuse yourself because they're going to talk in a little bit of an authority. That you're going to lose your,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna lose my voice, yeah.
And then they're going to use tactics and things that make you go into helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom is saying, we know that we put a certain amount of beliefs that you're deficient. The lie is that we know you're more than capable, but we had fear. We also believed that in that collective, that women are supposed to be taken care of by a man. And when you first started to show us that you were, oh my God, I'm self-conscious, which is a great amount of insecurity. We couldn't get you out of your shell. We couldn't get you to do things, so we did them for you.
Mm-hmm.
And losing your brother caused a great amount of lack of confidence. You have just you've never let go of that safety blanket. So the brother is she's referring to as a safety blanket. So why did you, and now I'm just going to ask, why did you need that safety blanket? Because I was in self-preservation. And when did you do that? When you were in the womb, at birth, right after birth, when you were pulled from that bond that you would have had with your mom. And you've had the time and space, get this, the time and space from here to here of not being able to bond. It's this feeling that, yeah, you're not going to remember as a kid, but you will as an adult. Because if there's this resignation inside of you, that there's just this helplessness, this hopelessness that lingered until you came into the arms of your parents. Didn't matter because you were passed around. You couldn't make the link. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So it's like when a baby is stuck in an incubator, it's going to have this time and space about issues with bonding. So they want you to understand that you don't want that energy again. So you put self-imposed limitations on yourself. I says, but how do we help that moment of that time and space, that in between? Well, the body just keeps going into the alarm. The alarm, here we go again. The alarm, here we go again. The alarm. Do you understand? So you're going to write down R3S. And you are going to look at this alarm. Because your body's saying, here we go again. Even though you're an adult now. And then you are going to begin to understand that self-preservation. And that means you're going to thank you with grace and ease. Maybe we'll watch it on TV. We'll watch maybe some other person doing a live experience. But Melody, this is where you can do R1S. Because don't take away from you, but I didn't realize that she was in the room. R1S, because you have no choice. You had problems bonding with your parents, but you have an opportunity to heal this in you for your child and for your little self, just like you can go back in time right now. So understand that even though this has happened, it doesn't mean it's permanent. And that damage is there. It means that inside of you, you get to change your outer world, and that is with people. Just like Melody will be able to heal. He's been in there for 1 month, but you've been bonding, you've been communicating, you've been able to do that. There's this field, kids talking energy. Begin to heal. You have the opportunity because you're creating this moment, not just to heal this or to undo something you think you did, but this is being created because you had gone through and lived through something particular, which is now the opportunity. So thank you, Spirit. So what I'm looking at is a self-preservation. You don't want, now this is where I would say for Melody as well as Miss Amy, is this self-preservation. So we had to put somebody in a care facility. They didn't want to go. Their sweet, loving demeanor went into a desperation. And when you've gone into desperation, you need to begin to heal this. But the desperation goes further. It goes into self-preservation. Now, this is where you beg, barter, steal. This is where you don't want to go through the experience. This is where, oh my God, and then to the point you will go through, what can I do for you, to becoming out, to being bitchzilla. You will do anything and all things to change that behavior in someone or in something because you don't want to do what they're asking you to do. Okay. So you're getting loves and hugs from Miss Robin. But the body, again, your lie has been built on you can't do it, but you've already survived and you've done it. You've done it. 100%. But this is other people's fears that have been built into you. But it's their insecurities. It's their fear. Because when you go back to heal what you needed to do as a child, you'll be able to do. But if they have that insanity that you're meant to behave so that I don't go into that insanity. You have to correct yourself. You got to do this every time. But you can feel that they've been in self-preservation because you've done it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get ready to do that feeling of the emptiness, that there's nothing left. This is a peak of when you have done everything you can to scream, holler, to make something stop. You don't want to do it. You're stuck here. And then there's this emptiness. Oh, you have no choice. And this is what they're asking you to also address with this, is that the fear of being, just the fear of being. And it's an emptiness, and it's the fear of being. And this is R3D. Okay, be doing these. And if you do them, you will be able to, she says big hugs back. Aw, that's sweet. There's love on that page over there. You're ready to see that deeper reasoning of why you would have any deficiency in the first place. But it's wrapped up into these particular moments with particular emotions. Yes, R3D, the fear of being. Begin to notice the feels that you have to believe. See, I even had a dream. So this was such an amazing thing. I woke up and I could feel, I think the planets were shifting, but I was in that hypnagogic state. And Spirit said, and so it's like a little bit of lucid dreaming. And then all of a sudden it was, feel how you believe it. And all of a sudden, blink, blink. What? This is not real? And that feeling of what? Like Truman, the movie Truman, I can't remember the Truman Show. And at the end, when he finds the door in the sky, what the F and A, and then leaves. I don't have to believe this lie anymore. It's super duper important that when you get to that realization that you don't go into a whole nother tailspin, but it's a relief. Ah, thank you for the thumbs up. So those that have seen her and she's on the video and she's live, she's yawning, and that's not because she's tired, it's because she's moving energy. Man, the amount of energy that this governing 20 is connected to, all of yin energy, but it is such a remarkable point on your head. And the frontal lobe is such a remarkable thing because it helps create reality, but it also sort of holds those emotions and it has impulse control. And if you focused on compassion, then your left side of your brain, the frontal lobe, would light up. But we have to undo some of these programs. Okay, what number are you now?
I think a 3.
Okay. So we've gone over a little bit, but that's okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to just feel like this is a habit. You got to understand the lie is a habit. When you begin to see the lie and go, why am I still making it true? This is just a habit. Just a habit. Now, Melody, if you're still here, understand that you are your child and you have this understanding. And it's about bonding and it's about this energy field. And you have an opportunity to really raise this child in a more healthier relationship as far as the bonding. Not the way you knew, but as you heal, it's the way your wisdom will help you be. And whatever our children go through, we can help them and love them. And if we have any fear, heal that so that your child doesn't have to respond to it. Children see energy. And if you're throwing love at it, Now, let's say you're tired. Don't throw the tiredness at them. Do your best to call it back, cancel, clear, delete it, flip the script, hold some points, get yourself back onto the thing. But they don't need to see that. You need to go back to home port and heal any stress. Okay? Oh, that feels much better.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
your job is now to understand it's just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch that vending machine button.
Mm-mm.
It's going to feel weird because you have to lay down new groundwork about social skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, how do you know you shifted? What can you share?
I no longer feel like crying.
Oh, you were actually in. How long? This all weekend? Or is it just when I brought it up?
Just when you brought it up, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
No, all weekend. It was just kind of a meh all weekend. Not
Okay.
really, it wasn't that I was in that state, but it was like I was observing how I was being. And now it's like, as I was holding, I'm like, oh, that's why I had to do this in order to see where I needed to be in order to heal this particular thing.
So, I want you to make sure you go back and you watch this and pick up those particular key peak points that I'm referring to. Because the childhood part of you wants to heal this,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to get and heal all these other things that got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to heal it, I want you to feel. I want you to feel how that child. Don't go there in the extent of telling yourself with your imagination that you thought this. Don't use the imagination.
Mm-mm.
Use feels. So I know at one point you resonated and going, oh yeah. That's all you have to do is sit and find it, look at it, and just sit there. It will unfold itself. Because this is what's the thing that's hidden in the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't hidden on purpose or to keep you safe. It's just, it made no sense with that emotion. And then you had more emotion on top of these emotions. And you just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been healing backwards to the point where now it's like, oh my God, I can relate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you can have an understanding, you can have the knowledge, and you can resonate to the point of, oh my goodness. But if you are over identifying, then you're asked to heal it out because now you create an attachment. Okay. Just watch things play out. That's all I can say is watch things play out. And it's your job now to understand that you don't have to believe the lie that you can't survive.
No, you don't.
You keep giving yourself lots of experience, but when you notice that it's their insecurities and you believe it's true, you build your walls with their insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that statement?
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to crumble those walls, it's like in the Truman Show. You what? The sky? What? Open the door. What? And you see a whole nother production set going on. I didn't know how to explain it, that dream, but it was so real. It was like, why do I have to believe that belief?
Yeah.
I believed it, but now that I unbelieve it, it's freeing. But how do you change your beliefs? But when it becomes important to you, so why would you need to feel like you can't survive? Why is it important? This is where you have to keep asking the question. When I first asked you about what are your values, and you're like, oh, let me get, hold on, what about, and so then it was like, oh, family first, because this is what
Mm-hmm.
you're taught. And this and this, and I think you had almost 100 things on your list, but you weren't one of them.
No, I wasn't.
To collectively soul grow, in the collective, to soul grow, in the collective to help participate with a new model. You can't fight against the old one. You just take your energy off it, build a new one, and that one becomes obsolete. That lie will no longer be true. It'll become obsolete. So you're over here building something new. And to do that, you have to go through the me, we, which is these levels. And you can really look out at how like some gaslighters and narcissists are about me. Okay. And then you see how some people are all about we, and forget about them. We have to find and stop doing this. We need to find the balance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
And we will see you tomorrow in Tribal.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you, hon. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Again, not if you feel like your child has been in a situation where you couldn't bond, don't be blaming yourself. If you are going to blame yourself, then you need to do R1S. Okay. If you feel that I damaged my child, oh my God, I want you to do R3D. Because you're going there in these fears. But if you look and you're saying, oh my gosh, I want to make sure I bond with my child, and you're focusing on bonding, but you have a strange feeling that oh my God. And so then what you do towards yourself in a form of abuse, I want you to do right wrist, second position, deep. Okay. R2D. The soul signed up for this. Your soul signed up for this, but it's up to you to change the way the energy is engaged, involved, attached, what lies, what beliefs, or perspectives, because a miracle is a shift in perception. And the only way you can change your perception is take the definition off of it, redefine it, get the wisdom. All right. Amber Patrick had wrote, she says, I'll just start again here. She says, Brenda, you're the absolute best at helping people identify and begin to heal. You have no idea how much of a transformation you helped me through. I'm so grateful for you. And then she says, I love you deeply. I've been spending so much time with my kids. Yay. We've been busy exploring and seeing new things, living life, loving life, and being truly grateful. Aw, Anya. And then she says, as you know, you helped me with a lifelong trauma I thought I would never heal from. And we made it possible. You gave me the tools and even remind me of the tools I used as a child, not knowing. I'm proud of her for becoming that soulful self to move past what she knew at the time. Good on you, Amber. Good on you. Wisdom is a powerful for our healing. Yes, it is. Knowledge is very important. But what you do with that knowledge? So what mindset, if you're in a victim mindset, you're going to take this and you're going to run with it and you're going to go there and make up stories, be in pain, cause more suffering, make yourself cry. But you're not here to inflict abuse and pain on yourself. You're here to free yourself. So when you start to get a certain amount of knowledge and you use your spiritual self, your spirit mind to help you process, and you learn how to use the body in a correct fashion, then you're going to take yourself to a brand new level. But can you keep yourself there? You can. You just have to have discipline. And discipline isn't about abusing. Discipline is, wait a minute, I missed myself. I went back there. Heal. Discipline is, what is it important to me just to be lazy and not care for myself? No, you wake up and you go, wait a minute, I'm doing this pattern. I don't want this. So it becomes a choice. It becomes a desire. You've had enough. And you learn to grow. So I hope you learned something today. Whoops. There we go. If anybody else is still new here and wants a free reading, you're more than welcome to have one. Just look around. Diligence and awareness, yes. And being very consistent, too, of your growth. When somebody says, oh, why do you always do that? Take responsibility, and it may, I gotta protect myself, but also take the responsibility is that notice you're still losing power. You still had to respond to that, or you still did a knee-jerk reaction. Why? And when you begin to notice there's an emotional component with it, you have an opportunity to heal yourself. You have an opportunity. Always learning from you. Good. Good. Because we're ready. With Saturn in retrograde, this is a very opportunity to return to thyself by feeling through these layers, and the authority and stuff starts to crumble, and it is letting the newness come in. So as you learn with me, begin to understand you have this independence and responsibility and accountability. Did I really want to respond this way? No, but I did. Well, heal it out. Heal out that, feel these little emotions, feel these little ways of being, and change that. Heal it out. Don't just think about it. Healing is not just intellectualizing. No, using the body, bringing the blood back up to your forebrain, helping the body get out of stress, help moving the energy. You don't have to have no magical powers. Intention. This is what I'm doing. SP has got to be the fastest way. It's for a fast state that can help pull you out. Success helps you go into the root even deeper of that particular emotional chemical peptide that's connected to the cell. But then you change the pathways, that is your habit. The way the meridians, it says, it's this time of day, it's this temperature today, this is what you're changing your nervous system. Okay, you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You just have a great awareness to say, why is my nervous system holding this? Why is this happening to me? Not in the victim stance, is like, why is this happening? Where do I need to grow? Get out of survival mindset? Do I need to get out of tribal mindset? We want you to heal so that you get back to self-actualization. Sometimes we have controversy thoughts. Okay, or you have two different belief systems. Well, you got to get the wisdom out of that. And like you just saw here, she was believing a lie because of their insecurities. And I don't know, I think it was connection with another reading with somebody else. When another person feels insecure, you want to coddle them, you want to enable them, you want to protect them. But at the same time, is it costing you? Is it costing you? That becomes a problem. And that you may want to become aware that if it is costing you, then you have to decide, why do I have to feel sorry for them? Why do I have to coddle them? And sometimes you have to heal out love that is out of balance. My nervous system has been so much happier with SP and success therapy. Good. I don't know of anything that can bring you back to sanity, safety, security, stability, serenity, and space, the freedom. Freedom from the prisons of these thoughts and beliefs and fears. Huge difference. Good. But it's the shifting. Like, I don't smoke anymore. I don't eat sugar. Well, I eat some sugar, but very rarely sugar. Like, I had a donut yesterday because we were out just goofing around with the illumination, whatever. Adelaide has got this light show, and so they do all kinds throughout the whole town, the whole city. And so you can be in one part and see a different type of illuminating lights. and they have this whole area that's free to play in, and like getting on the bicycles and making who can generate enough light or energy to make the lights, who can compete with one another, playing different games, live interactions, or just experiencing a different light. And then of course they have a lot of food that they sell and other stuff they sell, but it is to go out and to be in it. And some of the things they saw were cool. We're gonna hopefully go back and see some of the other spectacular ones that cost, because it's but it's very magical. Seeing it at night. And I want to see the one where they so we were watching on the Capitol building. They put up patterns of that were changing, and then they still told another story. I think it was on the library building, but they're going to be doing something in the botanical gardens where they illuminate faces, where they'll be on trees and they'll blink and they'll talk. And when you can feel something come alive, I love that in the art forms. It's just so fascinating. It is just so fascinating. And one, they've got the smoke, and I don't know what they use, but the fog or whatever, but they make it so that you can feel like you're going into another portal. That's another one I want to do. Or I think they even have one where the lights are so it looks like you're getting beamed up by an alien, But we haven't gotten that far. We did the first half, and we went and did 9K walk, and we're gonna finish it off because it closes on the 20th. But we're gonna do our best to get in and see the other half. We're not gonna be able to see it all because there's just too much. It's too cool. We missed the other festival that was just up. And it's like, why did we do that? Because these moments, me and my husband are really into creating moments together. And I find it fascinating. But my body didn't want the sugar, and I could tell. I was like, honey, my body is acting very funky. And it was because I haven't had fake sugar or real sugar. What people call real sugar is actually been processed and all of this and becomes fake sugar. And, there's different kinds of healthier sweeteners out there. I mean, beets. I don't know if you guys are used to having beets and sweet potatoes. Geez, when you have not had sugar, those things taste sweet. And I don't like, when I'm eating a nice meal, usually I don't like a lot of sweets. Like my husband likes a sweet flavor to his, and I don't. I like a different flavor in my hot meals. But man, I put a sweet potato with my salmon, and it's so sweet. I have to tame it with a little bit of cinnamon. But then I have beets, and I love beets. I didn't know I liked them because I've never served them. And geez, they're really sweet. And so it's like, okay, I saved that to the end because, you want dessert at the end. So basically I'll eat everything else, and then I'll get to the end, and then I'll kind of save the beets for last. All right. There's nobody else here that wants a free reading. Like if I've never read you before, I can give you a free one. And there goes. I don't understand. It just canceled that one. It says unable to go live. It's your internet again. And that's a possibility. I've noticed that last night. All right. Well, I'm going to close anyway. That one just disconnected. They said it was in internet error. Whatever. That's no problem. I'm going to be ending it anyway. You guys are great. You're awesome. And understand, it's up to you of how you spiritually grow. We're in that era that it's about growth of the soul. And I'm here to help you become aware of how your soul speaks and how you can communicate with your soul, how to work with this biosuit, how to become a happier, healthier person if you want to be. You don't have to be the victim, because suffering is just an option. Okay, so give your life, so give yourself hope. Okay, get in there, use some tools. You got it. I love you. Thank you. So hashtag resolve to evolve, hashtag heal instead of deal, hashtag don't believe you're in BS, hashtag next stepping stone, hashtag healing is fulfilling, hashtag Thank you, Spirit. And we will talk to you soon. You're already blessed and you're already whole. So stay blessed and happy healing.